My name is Manuel Veloso, and I'm a 20-year-old from Lisbon. Fortunately enough, I have had the opportunity of living in three different countries throughout my life. In these years, I have been inserted in several different communities, and I have helped a few share them. First off, I helped a portion of citizens in Lisbon by doing refood. A significant amount of people in Lisbon don't have access to regular food, and there is a great amount of food being wasted by restaurants every day. So I joined an institution that made sure that food wouldn't be wasted and would go to people in need instead. Furthermore, while studying at Nova, I was always down to help my fellow students, be it friends or colleagues, wherever I could. I routinely answered their questions and took time of my day to explain them theories, models, problems that they didn't really understand. So that's how I help the community around me. Moving on to my success story. Fortunately enough, I have some successes throughout my years, but the biggest one I'd say is the creation of my newsletter. It all came to be as a great friend of mine started a project called Multiverse of Happiness, which he desired to be a magazine style newsletter with different writers for different subjects. As I'm a big fan of sports myself, be it football, basketball, and everything else in between, he invited me to give me like a trial to write one newsletter to see if I was good enough to make it. I didn't really think much of it, but I poured my heart out writing about the story about a small Belgian club called Union Saint-Gilloise. I sent to him not thinking that he would enjoy it that much, but he really loved it. He loved it so much that he decided it was a good idea to publish it in the main newsletter. And although the viewer account wasn't that high, with about 500 readers, I got amazing feedback. Friends, family, complete strangers told me things and were really invested in what I was creating. From that point on, I was completely hooked. I only could think about writing. Uh, it took me around, like I'd say, 10 to 12 hours to write each article, although I did some specials that took me upwards of 50 hours to do, something that with university, sports, family, friends was quite hard to manage at first, but I eventually got into it. I ended up writing more than 20 articles for my friend's newsletter, becoming a regular feature and achieving more than 1,500 readers from all around the globe. It was a nice experience that I cherish to this day. It taught me a lot how to manage time, to find time to release one newsletter or two every once or twice a week. Then I also got an experience working in a fully functioning group, as we were always constantly pitching ideas to one to the other, and I learned that it's always important to trying to improve as I constantly tinkered with small details that ended up improving the experience of the readers overall. So that's my success story. Moving on to failure. Failure is something that I actually dealt a lot throughout the years, but there's one incident from last year that really stuck with me. I had the goal of getting an internship in one of the best consulting firms in Portugal. Although the positions opened up in September, I was completely lazy and unorganized. And instead of applying straight away, I only applied in January when there was only one out of the 10 available slots. So I didn't give myself the best chance. Still, I put my work in, and then ended getting through the first phase of interviews, which consisted of two interviews with two different peoples in the firm. From there, I had two different interviews with partners of the firm. Once again, I thoroughly prepared and did my best. If it all went to plan, I would get the job I wanted. Then something unexpected happened. I was called to give one extra interview as there was undecided between two or three candidates. Since I got to that stage, I thought I had done enough to get the job, so I didn't practice and I did the interview straight away without thinking much of it. It went great in my mind, and I was convinced I got the position. The next day, I got the call that they decided to go with another candidate. I was devastated. It was a very hard pill to swallow, but I had to move on. And from there, I found a good internship in the Netherlands, which I ended up thoroughly enjoying. This experience taught me a lot. Firstly, if I want something, I have to give myself the best chance of succeeding, even if it means organizing my life around it. Secondly, every opportunity I have to improve the chance of achieving my goal, I should take, as I can't afford to become complacent. Finally, even if the objectives I want to achieve end up failing, I have to remain positive and active and finding alternatives to reach my final goals. Thank you.